shut down and start over? Let's shut down and start over.
No, people going on.
Well, we're going to shut down and start over. Just have a clean one. They're going to go bye-bye. See you.
We're restarting because you Todd.
All right. Good evening, Robby Gordon here. Design presentation 66. We had to do a little bit of a restart, so if you were on and got dumped, sorry about that. We refired back up. I'll give it a couple more minutes for everybody to get on. I know we had a few before we shut off, and Kyle let me know when we got some back on. All right, sorry about that. Like I said, tonight, a lot of people always, I've been doing the shows. Todd sit on a couple of the shows with me, but tonight I felt I should turn the show over to Todd Romano, my business partner in Speed UTV. He's also the one that has been working with the dealer networks and a lot of the sales with customers. So Todd's going to take the floor tonight. I want to hand over to him. I will come back and take calls at the end of it. And so we will do 4 phone calls at the end, and we'll give away a Speed RC car again on caller number 4. So call back in at the end. Todd, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. As we see over here, Todd has some updates that he wants to share, so we're going to let him do that.
Hey guys, hey, first, Rob, thanks for the intro, and for everyone listening. We get a lot of work each day on everything we're doing, and part of what we did in the last 66 presentations was communicate. And unfortunately, as busy as I've been with our dealer base and the rollout of this vehicle, I've had not a lot of time to be on the social media. So the last couple months, Connor Gaberson's been trying to do his best to update as much as we can with the knowledge he has. And as Robby and I spend 20 hours a day or more working on this business, we don't always get to communicate with everybody. So I figured I'd jump in and answer, tear the Band-Aid off and actually answer a lot of the questions that I feel haven't been addressed. And it's not from a lack of information, it was from a lack of time. So I want to step in, and Daniel, switch slides for me, because these are the questions that I get and Robby gets on a regular basis, and trying to make sure we're answering them to the best we can. And the question is, we talked about these 10 production cars. They are our basis for taking the car from production test cars to production line test cars. So the biggest difference is Robby and I and our staff built chassis with production parts in Charlotte, and we spent 6 months testing them, going back and forth to Glamis and to Park, Arizona, and vetted out the production parts. But then you have to go to production line assembly and take prototype parts and prototype production parts, make sure your suppliers give them back the way you believe they're supposed to be, and assemble them on a car in a fashion that produces more than 8 cars a day. Our goal is to produce 80 cars a day. So I want to walk you through what that's like and what we've done in this last 2 months to understand how to build 80 cars a day instead of 8. And that's the answer. So let me give you a couple ideas of what happens. For all of you who have built something or had to work on something, I'll give you an example. My Ultra 4, the first time I took the transmission out of it, we took 2 days because we couldn't really realize, do you take the motor out? Do you take the transmission out? Do you move the transfer case first? All these different pieces you have to figure out. That's taking something apart. But when it comes down to assembly line, there's assembly line process. And I'll give you an example. As the car rolls down the assembly line, we have to have different stations that there'll be a front bulkhead, there'll be a rear motor, there'll be shocks. And in each package, you have to identify what goes in that package. So sub-assembly for front bulkhead might be a whole bulkhead with all the suspension bolted to it. And then you try that and you go, wait a minute, that was harder than we thought, or it worked great. And as you progress, you start going, well, but I shouldn't have put the front bulkhead on unless I had the power steering unit attached, the power steering line attached, because now you can't get the line on as fast. And the trick is you've got to have speed and efficiency when you're producing these cars, or you're never going to produce cars in any fashion that gets the people who ordered their cars. You know, Robby can go build 8 cars once we figure this out, probably in Charlotte a day, but that's not 80. And the rate we're selling cars, and I'll thank all our dealers. Our dealers ordered cars for for Q1 2021, and we just in the last 4 weeks sold our 60 dealers. We sold about almost 1,500 more cars because of our process. And as much as there's frustration from all of us in the process taking time, I'll give you some of the things we've seen. Our front bulkhead, it has to drop in to the car. It can't be massaged. It can't take energy. You can't hit it with a rubber mallet. So you go back and go, hey, take 200 thousandths off the tool. Because if we take 200 thousandths off the tool, then we'll have 200 thousandths less material and it would drop into the keyway perfectly. Well, there wasn't a problem with the bulkhead, but you wanted to take the 200 thousandths off. That takes you 3 weeks to have the tool remachined to then test that piece again. And when you do that, you see, wow, the draft angles have changed. And to make sure we have the proper structure in the webbing, we have to go back and change the draft angle. So you run into each one of these things. There's 28,000 or so parts on this car. Many of them make up an assembly. So a motor might have 3,000 parts in it, but it's still an assembly. When you put that assembly on the car, do you put the motor on with the throttle body, with the fuel rail? Are the injectors attached? Is the exhaust attached? So as we progress, as we start assembling these cars, all it is it's playing Rubik's Cube and Tetris for us every day, because we're taking it apart, putting it back together every single time, trying to identify. The other thing that happens to us is we have prototype production parts that we get approved, and then we go and source, because you have to in today's COVID, we have to have multiple sources. If we single source supply our parts and that supplier has a back order, and you're seeing this with all our competitors. I mean, being an ECU at General Motors stopping cars from shipping. It could be Elon Musk not having batteries today to ship cars. Pick your poison. If you single source supply, then you have challenges. So then we went through the second phase due to sourcing to make sure we had redundancy of suppliers. We have to vet that production part. Now, Robby, I'll give him the best credit in the world. He's a phenomenal designer, and his tolerance is 0 for a supplier making change. So when we have change, our production part looked like an apple, like a red apple. And unfortunately, we came back and we got a green and red apple, because that production part, they thought they could produce it more efficiently. And we say, no, that's not what we approved. So that second supplier that we were trying to use to make sure we had redundancy, that costs us time. So we're not in this process of producing different parts than we tested, because then we'd have to go retest and revalidate again. So everyone we've partnered with originally, we've done a great job of making sure those parts are identical as tested. As my job and Robby's job to make sure cars keep going down that assembly line, you have to make sure you have a second supplier. If there's 28,000 parts and 99% of them are good, that's still 1% are wrong. I still have 280 parts that I don't like. 99%, heck, that's an A+ in school, but it's a failure in assembly line. So I got to make sure everything happens properly. And as we go down this, we've noticed minimum order quantities are changing. Suppliers don't have more capacity. We want to make sure we're aligned, that as we push go, we're not, what was his name? Vanilla Ice, the one-hit wonder, right? We need to make sure the cars keep shipping, and we're taking our time to do that. So the question keeps coming, where are these 10 cars? When are the cars coming? What is our time frame? And Robby's answer, and I support him on this, is they'll be ready when they're ready. But I want to give you guys a little bit of understanding of what we're doing besides they'll be ready. We are in this phase of making sure, as we put cars together, they're the right parts. They've passed all our testing of parts, quality control, that they go on the car as predicted in the time frame they're supposed to. And we understand which parts go on first, and make sure we put shocks on with arms, or we put shocks on after arms. And there's a ton of time with that. That's something I will tell you. We've been great. I've taken apart my trophy truck and put it back together. But when you're trying to assemble cars at the rate we are assembling them, the curve of learning what goes on first and how quickly to do it is laborious and cumbersome. And we're doing everything we can to get through that so we can push go. In the process, Daniel, if you want to switch slides for me, we've learned a lot, and we appreciate what our customers have done for us by being invested from the beginning. But what we've learned in what's happened due to COVID in supply chain is our cost of goods on cars that are going to start shipping next year, or for people who buy cars next year, the price we're going to increase on our cars for 2021 model year. So that's great for our customers. It's more value for the ones who've got in. But as we go down this road, and we thought our cars would get a little bit more expensive. It's not a ton. We're not changing the base car. We're leaving that as it is, so we can be competitive with Polaris and Can-Am. But our LEs, there's a lot of opportunities in our LEs. There's a lot of performance that isn't out there in our competitors, and that performance is costing us money. And unfortunately, down the road, that will be passed on to the consumer. But I want to make sure our customers who have invested with us are aware of what we're doing, the steps we're taking to make sure cars go out. And we have a tremendous opportunity in front of us with these cars. I think we hear it from our customers every day that it is the benchmark. And hey, as soon as we get the car to market, we'll change the game. And I want to answer that. As much as the customers who've bought from us want cars soon, you can't even imagine how much Robby and I want cars soon. The industry today is unfortunately an industry of lost opportunity. When I say lost opportunity, the problem is for every month I don't ship 2,000 cars or 1,000 cars, or for every month Polaris doesn't ship Turbo S's or Can-Am doesn't ship their cars, we're all losing opportunity. And so as much as we want to bring today's car to market today, we're protecting our customer and our brand by making sure we do this right. And I'd love to sit here and tell you that we have the exact date, but that things are going to come to market. And my answer to that today is I don't have an exact, but I can tell you we are so damn close. And what we will continue to show you in the next couple of weeks as we lead up to the start of our season and our trade shows and race season is that we have a lot coming, and our goal is to make sure we pull the month or so that we've lost in identifying opportunity to make cars faster. We can use that production capacity. And if we have 3,000 customers ordered cars, that we can catch up in a month and a half, 2 months, 2.5 months to not concede that lost opportunity. So that is where I am. I can't see the questions that might have come in when I was spending my 13 minutes of dissertation, but I want to get that out and give you a good explanation. I hope that was clear. And Daniel, if there's any questions that came in when I was talking, please ask me them and I'll do my best to answer.
Do you want to go over dealers?
Oh yeah, let me switch to dealers. Let me switch screens. And let me know when it's up.
Yeah.
So I do get asked a lot, as we grow, I get asked by my dealers and by our customers, where are your dealers today? And I got a report from our office the other day that of the cars we've sold, I think with Rob, what was it, 33 or 34% into Southern California? So our opportunity in California, we haven't added any more dealers. We have great coverage from Burt's Mega Mall from Bike Center, Temecula Motorsports, Vase, and Coin, both in Banning and in El Centro. So our SoCal is covered. We have a great dealer up. We look at Nevada, Northwest Nevada, up by Reno. We have Carson City Motorsports. I was just there this weekend meeting with them, working on some of the marketing opportunities that they're doing with our car, and from Hangtown Motocross to some of the ride events they want to do. A very excited dealer. Go down into Vegas. You have ATV Cycle Sports and both ride nows. I think it's Rancho and Boulder. A little further south into Arizona, the Ride Now group has several stores. Nash Power Sports has several stores. So our metropolitan Phoenix area is covered. Tucson, we have Ride Now as well. And then where we've just added, we just finally, because people have been asking, we just opened up Montana Boat Center up in Montana. You go across to Oregon, we have, sorry, I got to pull some of the name, guys, but we're working actually right now with KBE. But I believe we have Psychotic Industries. I got to zoom in more and find all these different ones we have up there. Psychotic, I believe, is up in Eugene. And just north of them, I think this is Psychotic, South Pacific Power Sports, and MU Claw down in the east. So we continue to grow where cars are being sold. You get out here into the Midwest, We opened up Tractor Trail in South Dakota. If you come south into Oklahoma, we opened up Stillwater Power Sports and Fifth Gear Cycle. Come further south into Texas, you have Outdoor Power Sports at Ardmore, which is now owned by the two Outdoor Power Sports were bought by. I gotta draw the blank on the new brand. I apologize, guys. But right now, Power Sports did Forney, and they also did Georgetown. You get up to Springfield, Missouri, Youngblood RV Power Sports, and then we're over in Louisville, Kentucky now, Kentucky Power Sports. And we're opening up in Michigan. I-95 is talking to us, and up north at the top of the thumb. This is a new dealer. We've been talking to Extreme Power Sports. So my job, and I apologize, is working on this part of our model, because as all of you have ordered cars, I got to make sure they get serviced. And what we've been doing, and we're in the Dominican Republic, we're in Dubai, we're in Israel, we're in Russia, but I think most people on tonight are from the U.S. My job is to make sure we have service centers for everyone who's bought a car. As much as we're in Lake Havasu with our flagship dealership, I got to make sure as we sell cars in the States, we have dealerships set up to service you, and that's been my biggest focus the last 2 months as we get closer to taking cars to market. So,
Hey, Todd.
any other questions? Yeah, Rob.
I'm looking at some of these comments coming in, and the question is obviously, are dealers going to get cars before customers that have been waiting? And that answer is obviously no, because it's based off of master number. But we do have some dealers that order cars early as well. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so Robbie hit a point on. We are selling based on master number, and I believe Robbie's talked about this before, where the first 800 cars are going to be 4-seaters. Then we're going to go to 500, so we're race legal in the El Diablos, and then we're going to go back to 4-seaters and then the Bandits. In that, there's a mix. There's consumer and dealer, but predominantly the first, I think, 1,000 cars, with the exception of a couple dealers, and I believe Carson City Motorsports is one. I believe Edge Power Sports in Utah might be another. I think those are and Coin are some of the few dealers that have cars that are pre-1,000 numbers. And if I missed any dealers, actually Gino at Psychotic Industries is a really early adapter to our brand. So the dealers that have master numbers, just like customers, that's when their cars are being built. I will tell you, all those dealers that I just spoke about, I'm pretty sure every car they ordered for me is sold. But they might have some available. So if there's customers out there that want cars earlier, you might want to check with some of the dealers I just talked to, especially some of the SoCal dealers if you're in the Southwest, where a lot of our dealers are, and talk to Bill Nash or the Tax at Ride Now. And I think even AZ Moto up in Show Low and Pine and Flag, they do a great job for us. So if anyone needs information, post it up on Facebook. But I think this map did a great job of telling you where we've gone, and we're going to continue to grow as people order cars in those states. We really can't, we're not in the business due to our production capacity of opening into states where we're not selling cars. So as much as there's enthusiasm, and I appreciate all the enthusiasm we have from the customer base, but one customer unfortunately doesn't support us going into a state. So we're baby stepping that growth, and our car, as big and as fast as it is, it belongs in the West. And as we change that business model to shorter, narrower, less horsepower, or all of it, we will move as the demand creates and as production capacity allows. What else you see, Rob?
The other thing, I keep hearing this, where's our 10 production cars? But we've been testing cars since September of last year. Remember, we do have cars that have been in process for a long time to go through all the processes to be legal to sell cars as well. So it's not just our test cars. There's cars and motors pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I think I helped on that earlier, but the production cars will be done when we understand how fast we can produce production cars. It's not about testing the production parts, it's about testing the production line and then testing the production parts. And we'll go from there. And I think we're getting incredible. I mean, Robbie and I are on these calls as well, our engineering calls, on where we are with the assembly of these cars. And as soon as I can put them back in Park, Arizona at 120 degrees, which I'm not really excited about, we'll be there.
All right. And then what about Sand Sports Show with cars for people to sit in? What do you think?
Yeah, so Rob brought up a good point. I mean, our goal with these cars is to make sure we have the biggest appearance we can have at Sand Sports. We're there every year. I think we put on one hell of a show. That is our intention again this year. I did, Rob, find out there are 2 Sand Sports shows this year. There's one in Phoenix the weekend before. One thing that is happening to Rob and our team is, unfortunately, Sand Sports is the same weekend as Baja 400. So we're going to have staff coming and going, but we won't be at the Phoenix show. We will only be at the Orange County show. So if you are an Arizona customer, I apologize. We, due to pre-running, cannot be at the Arizona Sand Sports show the weekend before. We can only be at the Orange County Fairgrounds Sand Sports show. So that's where we'll be, and be able to have you guys sit, touch, and see the cars that one day will be in your garages.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Rob. Daniel, thanks for your time. And you guys have anything else? I apologize for my infrequency on Facebook, but most people have my numbers and you always have a way to reach us via email. So thanks for your time.
Cool. Yeah, I'm back on. All right, I'll take this back over. I know Todd talked about this, but I do want a quick reminder to give just a little value added. I hear or see from customers, did we get value added by being a first customer? I would say today, if you bought a car at Sand Sports, you bought an LE car at $32,000. Come August 15th, that'll be $38,499. So August 15th, you'll see a price change. Any customer that ordered obviously before August 15th or any time before any of the other price increases, obviously your price was locked in when you purchase. RG cars are going to go up. The Diablos are going to go up. We are going to keep our base cars at the same price. And I believe a base 2-seat Bandit and a base Diablo, which is still more than any car in the industry, is $30,000, and our 4-seater is $32,000. If I correct my memory straight, I did not make a slide for that, or Daniel didn't help me with a slide there. The next thing is we had a big announcement this week with Stadium Supertruck. Obviously, Stadium Supertruck is back running. This was a series that I had before we started Speed UTV. It's been going for the last 8 years, and we have teamed up with Nashville Grand Prix for a star-studded event coming up August 7th and 8th. And these are funded programs. I see the funny ones. Robby's racing trophy trucks, or Robby's doing Stadium Supertruck. Trust me, these are separate businesses that have nothing to do with Speed UTV. I want to point that out. Same thing with the trophy truck. We have great corporate partners with VP, KMC, Toyo Tires to run that trophy truck as well. And those are contract events. I am only doing contract events. We're not doing any extracurricular activities. And I am at this shop every day, pretty much from 9 a.m. till 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's nonstop. You probably see it. I did catch the full COVID-19 plus in my weight, and definitely lost a little bit of hair. But this engineering team that we have assembled is awesome. It's a pleasure to work with them, and the products that we're coming out with are amazing. Just the things we've learned. Obviously I learned a lot over the last 30 years of motorsports, from internal bypass shocks before King or Fox was ever thinking about building internal bypasses, to tires, to wheels, to chassis. Really stoked with where we're at. And watch a Stadium Supertruck and watch what they do. And we have a goal of our Speed UTVs being the top of the game as well. These things are robust, they're reliable, and we literally beat the shit out of them every week. What is this slide? Can they?
They didn't like the shifter knob.
They didn't like shift knob.
Same thing on the trophy truck.
Looks like the aftermarket industry has something they can build. Go ahead. You want a Spider-Man? Or you want, what is that? Sword? You want a sword? Or you can go for the, that must be a lit up one, huh? Does it change colors when you pull on it? All right, that's a funny one. Will the bodies be matte or gloss? And I'm going to say a semi-gloss, black gunmetal color that obviously we will put graphics on top of. And the way we're able to customize the cars like we do is with graphic kits. You saw that on our Speed SXX cars that we did for the last 5 or 6 years. And we did the same thing and allowed you guys to choose your own car, choose your own design, and we will continue to do that. The dealer cars that Todd was talking about recently have been basically blue cars, red cars, kind of like you would see with a Polaris and Can-Am, not so much customized like what we offer, but the dealers can order customized cars as well, and some dealers in the beginning did it, but it's obviously more work than they've done in the past. Some like it, some don't, so we'll give them both options.
You want to talk about textures briefly?
Textures?
Interior plastics will be textured.
Yeah, interior plastics are textured. We've come up with a kind of like a dotted look and a carbon fiber and some smooths and mixed it up. Feel really good with where we're at our textures. It's pretty hot looking, so I feel good about that. If you take your El Jefe to Australia, will it spin backwards in the cup holder? I don't think so. We've been in Australia a lot, and we still drive right-hand drive cars. Let's do some phone calls, and let's end up this week's show. I do want to thank Todd Romano for bringing you guys up to speed on a little bit of this. I mean, if we knew we could deliver a car tomorrow, we'd tell you we're going to deliver a car tomorrow. But there is a lot involved in this. We're not going anywhere. I see the comments that come through on Insta. You guys actually crack me up. I'm just curious if you have ever built or designed anything in your life before and understand what it takes to manufacture something. But this has been a lot of work. And like I said, I've been in the industry for 30 years, not going anywhere from the beginning of the Polaris Razor to the Carter XX that got UTV of the year, and look forward to getting this Speed UTV in your hands. So let's take some phone calls. 704-949-1255. 704-949-1255. There they go. Let it be. Head over that way. I missed one. Keep calling back. Hey, you're on with Robby Gordon. How you doing? Hello? Hey, you're on with Robby. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good.
I didn't expect you to get through. Got a quick question for you.
No problem. Let's do first. Let's do first. Do you have a car with us?
I got two actually. First one is 475. I forget the second one.
Number 475 is your master. What size are you?
Large.
Shirt. Large shirt. How about do you believe we're going to bring a UTV to market?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Some of this nonsense out there, I just think it actually cracks me up. It's the first time I actually got to sit back and watch some of the scrolls on my Instagram, and there's some knuckleheads out there for sure. But you know, we've been doing this for 30 years, and we are definitely getting close. I did want to put up the video. Do you not have that video, Daniel?
Special?
No, the full car walk around.
We showed that already. I'll think
We'll do that at the end. When we finish up the fourth caller, we'll go show that one more time. But there's a production car already in existence. And this is obviously fit and finished stuff and things Todd was talking about. But let's go for your question, Mike.
Okay, I got to ask you on here because I'm not allowed to ask on Facebook because people just laugh anytime you say the word bandits, right? So I got two cars. I got El Jefe, I also got a Bandit though. And my question is, why 95? And before you answer that, I would say the reason I'm asking is because every single person I talk to that owns a double X, including myself, everyone I've talked to about this agrees that car would have been that much better at, say, 100.
Okay, perfect. Hey, you're the right guy. So let me just tell you, we did have a problem recently. We might as well break open this can of worms tonight. So when we originally designed the car and did the four-seater first, we did the four-seater first so you could remove the back door and the back the back door seam from the rear door and the front door seam back together. That's why there's that little notch on the four-seater. Unfortunately, when we did the molds, they don't fit very good there. So you have got your wish. You've got a 100-inch two-seater. I know that's going to make a lot of people upset. Anybody that wants out of their Bandits that's 95, because it's not going to fit in your trailer, I'm sorry. But they are going to be a 100-inch, which is going to give you another 5 inches in the cockpit area.
That is awesome news, and I assure
it's
you
by
from
mistake.
all my,
It's by mistake, but it's
look,
real.
Robbie, I assure you from all the research I've done online, you are making a lot more people happy than upset. I guarantee you that.
All right. Well, it's going to be a 100-inch wheelbase, and the 5 inches went right inside the car. So I was going to bring this up next week because that is obviously the third car in production, but it will come as a 77-inch wide and also a 72-inch wide package. 77 package will come before the 72s.
I think having 100, 110, 120 is perfect. I think that is awesome, man. That is great news to hear.
Yep. Well, that's where we ended up, and I'm glad I got one customer happy. Hopefully, there's not a couple hundred more that are really mad.
No, I really don't think so. I think there was a lot of guys that actually would have chosen the Bandit if they had seen that from day one from 100. So I think if anything, you're going to get more guys switching over and wanting the Bandit. That's my guess. All
right, perfect. And anybody that has a Bandit and wants to switch over, I've allowed you guys to switch, and I'll still allow that up to August 15th. I know the salespeople are going to cringe, but because of this new change, if you want a 110 car or a 100-inch car, you can switch on that car, and that car is still off down the road in production, but is coming to market.
Now, and you did say that it's going to be like, what, the 5th run? You're not going to push it way out, are you, for the Bandits?
No, but most of 80% of our sales are four-seaters. It's downright crazy. I knew it was going to be big, but I think our four-seater is so short for a four-seater. You know, we're the shortest four-seater in the industry, and I think that has really driven our four-seat sales.
Yep. No, I concur. I'm in the dunes. I hate to get stuck up on between the dune. Anything over 120 would scare me. So that's absolutely one of the reasons why I ended up with both of them.
Yeah, perfect. So that is an answer that was done, and that was a mistake. But you know, when you make tooling like that, it's months. This isn't stuff that happens daily. So there's a seam panel in there, and I will show you the new wheelbase Bandit next week.
Great news. You made my night. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, cool. I'm glad you made your night. Thanks.
All right, see you later.
Bye. All right, one down. Hey, you're on with Robby Gordon. How you doing?
Hey, Robby.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. You got a car with us, sir?
I do. Master number 1400.
All right, and you did understand what we were talking about. The cars were sold in order, so your 1400 is going to come before dealers have their large quantity of car orders that they've ordered in the last few weeks.
I understand that.
All right, and your first name is, sir?
Tony.
Tony. All right, thank you. And what size shirt? Because everybody calls gets a shirt from us.
Extra large.
Extra large. Wonderful. Thank you very much. What's your question tonight?
Main question I have is some of the colors. I still don't know what colors. I got the LE package, and I'm not sure what color the trailing arms are going to be and the A arms are going to be.
Trailing arms and A arms, I believe, were charcoal, like a silver metallic, on the LE.
Okay, and the springs on the chocks.
They'll be charcoal as well, silver metallic.
Perfect.
The reason we did that is it goes with everybody's package. Obviously, the RGs come with orange, and the bases will be black.
Okay, another question I have is on that particular car, I got the El Diablo. I ordered the seats. I talked to Todd up in Havasu, and he kind of walked me through which seats would probably be best for me. I'm probably about the same size as you, so he said I think you go with a standard wide.
Are you saying I'm a standard wide already? I mean, I have definitely gained during COVID, but I sit in a standard seat currently.
Okay. Okay. Well, I got a standard wide.
It'll be a little more room. I mean, when you put a jacket on in the wintertime or something, that'd be nice to have. I can go back and forth between both of them.
Okay. All right. That was the other question I had. And what is the knockdown drag out date that I can add on to the car? Is that already passed?
You are you're a 1400, but you are Diablo, right?
Yes.
Yep. I don't know that offhand, but I will answer that next week. I'm sorry, but yeah, but I believe that one's already passed. I believe that Diablos have already passed.
Okay. There was only a couple of things I was going to add to it. So,
what are you wanting to add to it? I'm just curious.
probably just the light, the light bar on top, and a pumper.
Those would be two easy things that we can add to it, no problem. So, huh? Yeah, go online and do it. Go online, enter your master in, go ahead and do it. We are going to have, no, we're not going to be able to test it yet. We are going to have a shutdown. That's something I want to talk about. Plan on probably a 24-hour shutdown of site. We are coming up with some changes to our site, and I believe that will happen maybe next Friday or Saturday. So I want to give you some heads up on that as well. It's one day of maintenance on the site. Got a bunch of changes happening to try to make the user experience a little easier, so you guys can go back in and adjust your orders.
That works for me.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Two more. Missed one. Oh, speed our secret. Hey, your caller number 4, Robby Gordon. How are you, anonymous? Oh. Hey, you're on with Robby Gordon. Your caller number 3.
Hey, my name's Mike. Car number 982.
982. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Size XL.
Perfect. Thanks for helping me. He's got this thing down. What is 982? Is that a 4-seater Diablo Bandit? What is it?
El Diablo.
Diablo. Going to be a bitchin' car. It's, our first car was a Diablo because that was the car that kind of fit between every package. And let me tell you, that thing is just so much fun to drive. It's long enough that it runs through the big hoops, but also short enough that it has some handling.
Where is that car nowadays?
That car has been testing at a bunch of other facilities outside. That's why you've not seen it. Remember, we've got a lot of suppliers that have been doing components and drivetrain stuff, and that car has been a meal for us.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so it's go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just wondering, I know originally we were shooting for a 15-gallon tank, and the double X is 10 gallons.
What do we end up at exactly? Do you remember? I know I have tanks. I want to say we were right at mid
13 or 13 and a half.
Well,
usable or the whole volume?
Yeah, I think from empty, I thought it was 14.3 from empty when we filled it up, but I don't recall. I can look for that next week and give you exactly what it is. And then, there was just a little bit. I think we got up to a half a gallon out of it when it started to bobble. Now, one thing we have to be careful of, and I need you guys to be careful, is when this thing goes to bobble, when you're on boost, that is when it wants to lean out when it doesn't have fuel pressure. So there's a fine
don't want to do that.
There's a fine line there. So on boost, guys are going to have to be careful with this.
Right.
Because obviously you run out and you're on boost, then it instantly leans out the tune.
Right.
So
the question that I had for you that I've been curious about, on the double X I had Lowrance 7-inch GPS, and I know this one has the match and mirror from your phone, but I found that a lot of times while we're out driving around, you would zoom in and zoom out with the Lowrance, and I'm thinking I'm matching, if I'm using some sort of GPS app and trying to pinch the screen and that kind of thing on a phone to see it on the dash, it might be tough. I mean, it's better than nothing, which is great. But I'm thinking I might need to still have a GPS, and you know, you get a little older, it's a little harder to see that smaller part of the GPS screen, which is going to be right in the middle.
Yeah, so let me tell you what we do for initial pre-running. Like when I go to Baja, we have obviously a Lowrance. We have one of those HDS 12s that allows us to zoom in and input stuff. But I also run, is it Lead Nav? Lead Nav and Maps.me. I kind of bounce between all three of these, but I can get the race courses on Maps.me, and I know you can load some Topak maps onto Maps.me, but also Lead Nav, provided that you have the I don't know what the right word is, but the zone that you're going to be in, that couple 100-mile zone. If you have that downloaded before you lose cell service, you can still zoom in and out because those cubes are already saved on your phone. So Lead Nav works for us down in Baja, even in remote locations.
Okay, but in order to do that, I would need to have the phone mounted in a spot to where I could actually zoom in and out.
Or you as you're driving, or you can we do it with I do it without about a 10-inch iPad that allows me to really zoom in and see sand washes that might go a different direction where I don't see that on GPS because I just see the main roads.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
makes sense.
But that would be able to zoom into your dash, and then once you had it, you would have to just keep updating where you go on your phone like we do.
Okay. And you were talking about the website shutting down for 24 hours or whatever next week. Is that when you guys do that, will you upload some stuff so that we can upgrade, like maybe if we want a suede steering wheel or the suede seats, if we just have an LE on order kind of thing?
I'm making some notes. It's more for communication with you guys than anything else that allows us to really understand your buyer's orders, change orders. We've had, let's say we've had a couple hundred cars get swapped owners. As you see, we just put more value in the car for the guys that bought on early and anybody that's a car today. But this isn't just going to be speed UTV. I look forward to seeing what Can-Am and Polaris's prices are, because look at what plywood's done, since the COVID reboot.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, bolts alone. What were you going to show, Daniel?
That silver bolt went from $30 a piece to $50.
Oh, this one right here. Okay, perfect. So crank bolts. This bolt right here, pre-COVID, one bolt we bought for $30. Today I buy that same bolt for $56.
Wow.
One bolt on the crank bolts went from that price, and those are our prices because we're not using, we could put a crank together with a bolt like this if you want, but it's not going to go very far. We know that if we're going to make power, I got to give you a good bolt that has the right stretch torque in it, and these are crank bolts that I'm holding, and main bearing bolts. But these things rod bolts. Sorry, these are rod bolts, not main bearing. Rod bolts, and these things have to be right, or else we're gonna. Good thing we only have 2 cylinders instead of 3 or 4. Exactly, but we are experienced in this as well. But we are going to honor exactly what we agree to do with our customers, and
awesome.
And we want to give fair notice when the next change goes up as well.
Right. Okay. Great.
All right. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Continue the great work, and we'll get it when we get it. It is what it is.
Yep. Are you coming to Sand Sports?
I don't know. You were talking about it last week, and it sounds like you're going to be there Friday night and Sunday, but not Saturday because you're going to be racing.
I will be there, but Todd and the rest of the team will be at Sand Sports throughout the weekend. I will be gone on Saturday for the Baja 400. Be back hopefully with a trophy on Sunday.
Yes, we all wish you luck, and hopefully we'll go to Sand Sports. I'm hoping that you progress and are able to get some cars to Sand Sports, and that will definitely help, people to see them and want to jump on board more to, enhance the business.
Well, thank you very much. And obviously, you know, I got a goal to get these things to the finish line, but they got to be done right. And we're not in a position to deliver a car that potentially you lose motors or we have recalls. We have to do everything at top level if we're going to really make a mark in this industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'll wait as long as it takes.
Yep. I think Sand Sports is September 17th through 19th. And we will update you guys every week up there. We're going to continue to do shows every week, and we're going to continue to face our customers every single week.
Perfect. Okay.
And that means the lovers and the haters will be here for all of you.
There's always haters. You can't please them all. Some guys drive a Ford, some guys drive a Chevy, some guys drive a Dodge. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is, and competition is a wonderful thing.
There you go. Makes everybody better.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Caller number 4, RC car tonight. How are you?
Hey, awesome. Hey, Robby. My name's Steve. I'm 2683.
You're fairly new. 2683 is not too long ago.
Yep. It seems everybody that calls is like way down in the, thousands and 1500s. So it's nice to see some higher numbers calling in.
No, it's good to have. We need new customers too. So and we welcome everybody to the brand. What's your T-shirt size, Steve?
Oh, medium.
Medium. All right, perfect.
That's awesome.
And
I did
RC
have a
car.
Questions.
RC car.
Yeah,
which one do you like? I have Napa
I
car.
want Max's car.
You want Max's car?
Yeah.
Well, he needs some help.
He's the future.
He hasn't been
got
selling
an
many
RG.
cars.
I got an RG El Jefe on order, and I'm going to hopefully have you sign it. And Kellen Welsh is one of my buddies. I work with him on the fire department. I'm going to have him sign the other side. So I'm good there, but I want Max's RC.
All right. Hey, Kellen's been a big part of our program for over a decade. And a lot of the stuff, that we've put into the car, stuff that the two of us learned at Dakar and the things we need, the things we want. So he's done Dakar, obviously, in the Hummers, the Gordinis, and in a UTV. So he's been a big part of our program.
Well, let me continue a shout out now that Max seems to be riding a little bit with you in some of your races. That's really cool. I got on board with Speed UTV because of Kellen, and I'd really like to see him behind the seat of one of these cars out there racing. I mean, if you can make that happen.
Well, he's a hell of a driver and a rider, and he's plenty capable. Obviously, he's been fortunate enough to, I've been fortunate to have him ride me. He's been fortunate to see what I do behind the wheel, and that's why he goes over and works some buddies of ours, Matney and those guys, and that opened up a seat for Max to get some experience as well and understand what corner speed is and when to go and when to not go. And we were right where we wanted to be at the Baja 400. He did a really good job there, and he's going to have to hold his breath at the Baja 400.
I thought it was really cool. That's awesome bonding. My question is, we talked a lot about the crescent boxes, and I've got the trail kit, so I've got an axle, I got a store, and a few other spare parts that come along with the trail kit. I saw some renditions of the crescent box where the axle might fit into it, and then you've talked about maybe having a divider where will we have an actual ice chest there that we can throw some beverage in, or
yes,
what do we know about that?
So there is dividers. The crescent box is made out of the same material, ABS, the same stuff that we make the speed toolboxes out of. So it's fairly robust. It will have a seal on it. You can put an axle at the bottom or the top. I believe that Kyle has put some grooves in there where you cut, maybe not. Yeah, they are. So there is grooves there that you could take like a skill saw, jigsaw, reciprocating saw, Dremel. You could trim that out, and your axle could still fit along the bottom. But it does fit in there at an angle for a 77-inch car if you wanted to carry one of those. We've also got soft coolers that go into there. We were going to make it a cooler, but you can think about how big this thing is. By the time you moved it into your house, out of your truck, it's going to be so big. We went with these these speed style coolers. Like this is a long drink cooler here, but it's a line zip up one. We've got some rectangle ones that will fit between the dividers as well. So that answer is yes, but you could also do it with water in it, but then obviously you'd be getting water on your axle, and I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, that's why I kind of
So,
had to figure that
Yep,
out.
there'll be soft coolers, which is nice because you can pack it. So when you get there, you can take it, and then if you got out, and obviously having the bed there, you can pull your cooler out, set it on the bed, set up a little sandwich buffet or whatever you're gonna do while you're out riding.
Awesome. One more question. With the RG car, did I hear you say somewhere along the line that the orange actually had a carbon fiber look to it?
No, the orange is orange, but there's a lot of carbon in the black. So it's the secondary color is a carbon graphic, which we run that on a lot of our cars for the last 4 or 5 years as well. Max's car that he's raced, it looks like carbon. Now we will have real carbon options, but that's obviously after that. We're not putting the cart in front of the horse. The cars will come out, and then carbon accessories will come out as well for real carbon dashes and real carbon interior door panels, hoods, roofs, other areas.
Well, great. Before I go, let me give a shout out to Aravada Springs. That's where I roll at. We're on the Arizona Strip, right on the Nevada border, out behind Bunkerville. We got a big RV park out there. Nice. I'll be representing.
Well, thank you very much.
I'll be with my car. We get a lot of retired UTVers out there, and they're going to roll up and see that RG sitting there, and I'm going to get a ton of questions, but I've watched every episode, and I've got a lot of answers.
Cool. I'm glad we're getting you the answers and obviously showing you what we've been doing. It's not just a car. It's a very detailed to the very last degree, from radiuses on bolts to everything, to try to bring a car that is as perfect as it can be and as close as it can be to our trophy truck at a reasonable price that someone can afford.
That's the closest thing I could get to a trophy truck. That's why I went ahead and got it. And out there at the ranch, we have the Polarises we rent. We have the Can-Ams, and I drive them all day long. And I drive them for free. But I had to, buy something that I really had faith in, being from, the off-road scene myself. And you're right. People don't. I thought I could build my buggy in a year. I'm just going to slap this thing together, got all the parts. It ended up taking me 3 years.
Yeah.
And
we've had cars for a year. Well, we've had cars for a year, so it's not that we don't have cars. These cars have to be perfect. And like Todd said, we've got to build 50 of them a day. I was going through a thing with our fabricators today. We were just, couple of this and couple of that. And like, why are you worried about that so much? Or why do you care about that? I'm like, think about this. A chassis has to roll off the line every 19 minutes. Every 19 minutes, a car's got to be finished on the assembly line to meet our goals.
And like myself, I don't want to break down in the middle of nowhere because somebody didn't get something right.
Yeah, so it's the where to put Loctite, it's where you put NICs, it's the shoulder of the bolts, it's the washers, it's the radius, it's all those little details that people overlook, and that's the difference between winning and losing.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate everything. Thank you for the car, and Max, keep it up, man. We're going to be following you.
All right, thank you.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel.
I posted a video when he was driving RC cars, I think at 2 or 3 years old today, which was pretty cool. But thank you very much. I want to thank all of our customers out there that believe in us. The ones that don't believe in us, it's okay. We appreciate you too. My dad told me a long time ago, if I have 100% participation, everybody knows who we are.
Good night.
Have a good night.